Good morning, friends. How is everyone doing? Happy New Year to everyone. Although we're well into the new year, I guess. We're already on the 12th of January. How is everyone doing? Good morning, my friend. Can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Um, Today, I just wanted to come on here and smash some of my Valentine stash, which is what I've been working on throughout the beginning of January when I have a minute to come into my craft room. So I had um, several, one, two, three, four, I think, four paper pads that I had purchased um, last year. Four, maybe five. Let me look real quick. Four that I had purchased last year. And I think I might have used a couple sheets out of each of the paper pads and then forgot about them. So I want to make sure I go through my existing paper stash as much as I can this year so that I can kind of go through some of it. But let me kind of show you, I'm going to show you some of the cards I already made using that paper. Hi, Reagan. How are you, my friend? Um, Before I start getting into these. But I did make several cards already. Um, so with this set, um, I used up a card kit I had from Kendra, one of her mystery card kits, which included this stamp and die set from Prickly Pear. It is, what is the name of the die of the stamp set? Sorry, friends. It is, I'm sure there's a name and I just don't see it. Let me look. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll see if I can find it. But it had the stamp set and then this coordinating die. So I used that along with the papers in the card kit that I had from Kendra and made these. This was I think it was a sketch from Just Crafts. Let me see if I can find it. I have a huge mess because I've been like crafting and just throwing things off to the side. I think it was sketch number 10. No, not 10. 9. So it was this sketch number 9. And I used it this way because there were two ways to use it. So I used it this way and made a few cards. My stuff's backwards. Why is it backwards? Hold on. I'm going to go off camera for a second and fix that. Better. My words were backwards. Okay. I was seeing it backwards. Like Hugs was reading backwards. So anyway, here we are. So I made quite a few. I pulled out some of my craft card bases because again, I have a bunch of those that I hadn't used. Now it's backwards. So it looks fine to me. So now it's backwards to you. This is very strange. Yep, you're right. Let me go flip it over again. It's fine if it's backwards for me. I just wanted to make sure it's the right way for you. 1 second. Okay, there you go. It'll just be backwards for me. Is that better, guys? Let me know. In fact, let me go look on my channel. Yeah, that looks a little better. Let me move this out of the way. get rid of some of this shadow. What's shadowing here? What is shadowing over here? Oh, I have something up here that's shadowing. Okay, I got it, I think. All right, so let me show you the ones I made. Hopefully they look okay for you guys. I'm gonna have to kind of think because I'm going left to right, but on my camera, at least on my view, it looks like I'm going right to left. Anyway, I wanted to use up that kit. It was a mystery card kit from Kendra, and use up some of my craft card bases. So I made 12, yeah, 12 of these cards. And so what was in this card kit was left over from the sheet load I made at the beginning of the month. And so if you saw my sheet load video, you saw there were a couple of these acetate embellish or die cuts. Oh, have fun, Pam. The only brick and mortar stores here are Michael's and Hobby Lobby now. There's nothing else here. So have fun. So I made these. I used up these little hearts came in the kit. I stamped some of these little keys and tried heat embossing, but I was having a heck of a time. I used a Hugs word die that I had in my stash. It is from, let's see if I can find it. Simon Says Stamp. So I used that, had it in my stash forever, and made these 12 cards. So one of my goals is to use up what I have. So here, my goal was to use up a mystery card kit from Kendra. Now you may have noticed I'm not on Kendra's card challenge team this term. Kind of took a break from a couple of teams because I needed to just focus more on my mom and my mother-in-law. All right, then what I made was some of these. And here it was a real simple, I didn't use a card sketch. I just cut this at 4 by 5 1/4, and then the leftover 2-inch piece from another one of the papers I used here. So I made some cards this way. Whoops. And used some of my some of the matte foil paper that was in those paper pads. I'll show you the paper pads in just a second. And then for this, I used some Cat Scrappiness, a stitch circle die and a stitch scallop circle die. And then this stamp, I'm sure it was a Simon Says stamp set. It is, I know, but it is, let me find it. I kept it out here. It was this stamp set. It was from, I think, 2018. It's called Loving Heart. So that's what I used. And I just stamped it and then layered those circles. So I did a bunch of those. And then these gold and silver were, and red, were part of those paper pads. Oh, words are hard this morning, guys. Very hard. We've had a busy couple weeks, beginning of the year already. Let me see if I can scooch up a little bit. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of my brother-in-law's passing. So he passed on the 11th of last year. So it was kind of a rough day for my niece, for my mother-in-law, for my husband, for my daughter, for everybody, I think. And we were kind of busy, just kind of trying to get through the day. I know my daughter told me she did the same thing, but like in the morning, I was just replaying January 11th of last year in my head. And it's kind of rough. But, we got through it. We know he's in a better place, probably having a party with my father-in-law. But he is missed dearly here. Anyway, I'm Anyone else miss the lives from the admin month? Here we are. Yay, I'm glad you're happy to be here. Yeah, it was kind of weird not doing lives after the admin series ended, but I definitely needed to take a break from that and kind of refresh, regain, get some rest and be able to kind of focus again. Although by the sounds of my words today, I'm not focused at all. Okay, so then when I cut up these this matte gold and silver and red, I think there was pink too. Where's the pink? Oh, over here, pink. I had some scraps left over, so of course I had to use those. So I made this, kind of made these 4 squares there, used another cat scrappiness. This is a scalloped heart, stitch scalloped heart die. Used that. Another hugs die that I had. That one is, doo, doo, doo. That one is, I did leave them out so I can look. I just have them off to the side. That one is an MFT die, the hugs die. Then those paper pads that I bought also had some like acetate sheets in there, some printed acetate. So I thought I could make some shaker cards. So I kind of did that one. And then this paper was in there too. And then did this one. So I did those. So I got those. This was all like, I kind of sat down for a couple of days. Didn't do it in one sitting, friends. Did not. I was just too many interruptions. Grandkids and mother-in-law, and then my husband's been a little bit under the weather. So not in one sitting, but they're done nonetheless. And my plan is, see if I can get it done this week. As soon as I smash these paper pads, I will take all the cards I've made and take them over to the skilled nursing facility that I usually donate holiday cards to. Take them there so they can have some Valentine cards as well. I think that'll be fun for them because I don't know why I just limit myself to holiday cards. Then I made these using the sheet load sketch for this month, which is in collaboration with Kendra's Card Challenge. I think it was Card Challenge 18, if I remember correctly. Let me grab my sheet load here. It was, yes, it was Sketch 15 from Kendra's Card Challenge 18. And it's the January 2026 sheet load of card sketch. So I used these. I added some peel offs from Love from Lizzie here. And I got to tell you, like these papers here, this is a vellum. This is vellum that I put on the background. So vellum, 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 vellum. These are the pattern papers. But this, like that background's vellum. So's this one. Kind of scooch things over. So I've got a good amount of Valentine's cards. Here, this was a cut apart. So there was a paper in the paper pad that had 4 squares with an element, design element on them. So I just cut that element out. So it was that one, this one with a heart. Sorry, I forgot to warn my kids that I was going live. So am I back? Can you guys see me? And is it still the right way for you? Okay, good. So like these 4 were the images that were there, and I just cut them out, fussy cut them, and made more cards. On some of them, I kind of had to flip where this angled piece of paper went because it was a directional paper, and when you cut, you kind of have to focus and pay attention on which way that's going. So this sentiments here were some sentiments from Sassy's LLC. And so another one of my goals is to use more of my already printed sentiments from Sassy's LLC because, as you know, I have a ton of them already printed and cut and ready to go. So I pulled out one of the little Valentine's ones and used those. So the ones where you see it's in black, those are Sassy's LLC sentiments. I'll go back later today. It's not going to be right after the live because I do have to go pick up a grandchild. But I'll link to whatever I can. You know, if I can find the die that I used or the oh, here's another one. I forgot to show you. Or the stamp sets. I'll link to Sassy's LLC. I'll link to Just Crafts. I'll link to Crafty Al's channel. So yeah. So yeah. And then with these, here I made more. When I had cut on those other pages, the 4 by 5 1/4 piece to use as my background, I had 2-inch strips left. So what I did was use different ones here and use some of the glitter paper that was in the paper pad that was left over to um, kind of hide the seam there, so to speak. But whoops, let me kind of scooch this over. But yeah, I did that with these. So these were either vellum or acetate. So this is vellum. Wait, yeah, and this one was acetate. These are vellum, 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 vellum. So this XO one was an acetate one. So I kind of pulled that in to help finish off those cards. This one with hearts here was acetate as well. And I'll show you, I have some pieces left of those that I can show you just so you can kind of see. Like I said, I got those at Michael's last year. They probably have something similar this year. Um, but I haven't stepped into Michael's since before the holidays. Oh, I have to go watch her video. I love watching Sarah Liz's videos because she just has so much fun with her sentiments. I mean, her sentiments are funny, snarky. They just crack me up. So, yeah, I love watching her videos. So, I'll be sure to link to her channel. Okay, so those are the ones that I have finished so far, plus my sheet load that I finished at the beginning of the month. Oh, no, here's a few more. So I have these papers all cut and ready to go. This is another Just Crafts sketch. This one is sketch number 2. So template number 2. So I use this, of course, instead of using the same paper, I used 2 papers. I paired up 2 pattern papers. And I made a few already with some of the acetate sheets, some of the glitter paper. Let me show you these. And then what I did do, like, let's say for here, I cut out the layer for the Love You out of the red. I cut it out of this matte layer before I added my pattern paper just to kind of save on that paper. And then these 2. So those are the ones I've done so far. Now this Love You die, let me see, that one was from, pretty sure it was from Simon Says Stamp, but I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong. Let me see. Love You. It is. It's from Simon Says Stamp. Okay. So I've made these so far. But I cut up the rest of the pattern papers so I could just make a bunch of these using this sketch. I just thought it would be easiest to do that. So like I started die cutting some of the sentiment and the layers. So like I can layer the gold onto that. And oh, let me show you the pattern papers. What am I thinking? Well, at least the covers, because all the papers are cut already. 1 second. Oh no. All right, so it was, let me move that again. Sorry, friends. This paper pad was all vellum. So there were several different designs of vellum. It had 2 sheets of each design, 10 designs, so there were 20 sheets in this pad. This paper pad was a combination of pattern paper, those acetate sheets that I told you about, glitter paper, matte foil paper. This had 12 designs with 3 of each, so it had 36 sheets. Question, who had a question? Who had a question? Hold on. Pam, you have a question? Oh, I'm going to show you how I did that with the vellum and acetate. I'm going to show you. I saved one to do with you guys on camera. And then this one was another one with 12 designs, had glitter paper, acetate, matte foil. Again, 12 designs, 3 sheets of each, 36. Then this one, here's all my scraps. This one had 12 designs, 3 of each as well. And it had pattern paper, matte foil, acetate. It had a combination of everything. So my goal is to finish up these 4. And I think I'm pretty close to getting there once I get this stack completed. Of course, I have scraps. And let me kind of show you what. So I have like the 2-inch pieces, and that's what I'm cutting my sentiments out of. This holographic glitter paper, saving these scraps. I'll probably die cut some little hearts out of these so I can add some hearts to the cards. Here is, I should probably have some white paper here. Here is this acetate. So see, it's clear acetate. So there was this hearts design, a couple of those. I have extra 4 other strips. Here's this candy hearts with a love you, stripes. Here's my other ones. Here's some more candy hearts. Oh, there's this diagonal stripe. And pretty sure there was more. This is all the acetate ones. I still have 2 full ones. So I'm holding on to these for a specific purpose. So these I'm going to use for a video I'm working on tomorrow. Now the vellum, the only piece I had left of a scrap was this one. But see, it's a vellum with design on it. And this one actually has like some foiling on it. Isn't that pretty? When I bought the paper pads, it was like, oh, look at this beautiful vellum and look at these neat acetate sheets. And I was just like, oh, great, I'll figure out a way to use them. And then they sat there and sat there and sat there. Let me put this away. But let me show you how I put my acetate and my vellum onto my cards so you didn't see any adhesive. Because that's the trick. That's just like, and I didn't want to just make a bunch of shaker cards because I had that acetate, because that kind of like, it takes too much time for me. I'm more of a instant gratification kind of gal. I want to be able to finish cards quickly. So that's my problem. Okay, so here I had all my pattern papers cut, and then I cut all my matte layers as well. And I just went with the same color matte layer no matter what the pattern paper was. I just wanted to make it easy for myself. And then I have card bases. And then here is a couple of my acetate sheets cut, and I cut them to 4 by 5 1/4. And here's some of the glitter and holographic paper. And again, with these, what I'm doing before I add my pattern paper, I'm cutting out sentiments out of this where you won't see it because it's behind other pattern paper. Yeah, no, it was Michael's last year, my friend. It was I want to make sure it's last year now that I think about it. Yeah, 2024. Oh, 24, 2 years ago. Oh, goodness. So 2 years ago. But they always have really neat paper. So you could go, and I'm sure one of the paper pads this year has some of that. Pam, is it? Yeah, don't run right now, Pam. You can go later. Okay, so what I did, and I'll show you, is I grabbed my 2-inch roll of double-sided adhesive, and I just, because this is 4 by 5 1/4, I added, no, let me do one for you. Where are my white? I cut some white cardstock at 4 by 5 1/4. If I could find it. Hmm. Oh, there it is. It's hiding. It's hiding underneath the box. Okay. So 4, here's one, 4 by 5 1/4. Then all I did was grab my 2-inch roll here. Let's see how precise I can be, because when I do it off camera, I'm like right up at the edge of the desk so I can see and make sure I have it done right. So I'm just laying it on the bottom edge, and then I trim off the excess. Then I'm flipping it over back to the front where I had the other piece and kind of lining up this edge so they don't overlap, because it'll overlap just slightly if I don't line them up right. Put that on there, and then I can trim off any excess adhesive. See how there's some excess? I don't know if you can see, but there's some excess there. And I'll just trim that off as well. But what I do first is attach that acetate or vellum. I did the same thing with the vellum. And I just used my score buddy here and use that to kind of go along the edge and make sure I'm lined up, because it's easy to get things crooked. Then I only pull back a little piece of this release paper. I'm so sorry. I just can't go and buy more. I have so many paper pads, my friends. But you don't have to get this exact stuff. Get something new and do what I'm doing, though. Okay. Uh, so then I grab my acetate sheet here and I pull this up on this right top corner so that I can kind of put this on the bottom corner down here. And if I put it down wrong, I can still shift it. Then I kind of press it down up in that corner and remove the rest of my release paper. And then I kind of trim down any excess. And that's it. That's all I did, because if you have that full piece of adhesive, you can't tell there's adhesive behind there, which is what we want, right? We don't want to be able to tell that there's adhesive there. So then I kind of trim this down, because I did have some of that tape going over the edge. Don't want that. And then I'm making sure I'm good on the rest of my edges, and I think I am. Oh, this one has some on the edge, and this one is sticking to my fingers. All right. So far, in January, I'm working on those goals and doing a good job of it, I think. Okay, then once I have this, I could cut probably sentiment out of this, but acetate's real hard to die cut, and I don't want to deal with that issue. So then I just kind of attach this to my card base, and I am using a black card base. Again, trying to use up the card bases I have in my stash without having to make more. And the white ones I'm always having to make more of, because those are the ones I use most often. But the black, the craft, the cream, those kind of sit there a little longer. And I thought the black as a border kind of helped the beautiful colors pop. Hold on, guys, I got a text. I have to kind of look, because my daughter's having some issues with the big boss where she works. Okay, Um, yeah, don't look for the exact paper pads, my friend. Here's the thing. Have had the habit of I watch someone on YouTube and I go and I buy the exact same things that they were using, thinking I'm going to make those. And then I get them and I don't make it. So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to use what I have. I need to use what I have. I have too much stuff. And don't let my husband know that I said that because that would be admitting defeat. But yeah, I have too much stuff. So I want to go through that stuff. Okay. So before I decide what I'm going to put on there, I'm looking at my background and I think I want, let me look. I already paired them up. So like I know this one's going to go with this paper. So my papers are all paired up, I think. I did that yesterday so that I wouldn't be kind of trying to figure out today which one to put with which one. Okay, here I think I might use this because I don't want to put a pattern paper with hearts on it when our background is hearts. I think that may be too many. Kind of look, see what other options I might have. Hmm. I think I'm just gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that. Hmm. Excuse me. All right, so before I put this on here, I am gonna go and die cut that shadow layer out of there. So all I'm doing is kind of centering it on here because the pattern paper will cover it up. Put it through my die cutting machine here. No, it's okay. You can, when I did my nose band a couple years ago with some of my crafty friends, we allowed ourselves to use gift cards we may have gotten at Christmas, or, if we got a Mother's Day present or a birthday present, use that money because it's not using your own money. And that's kind of what helped me survive through my no spend year. Okay, do this one next. And that way I can put my pattern papers on. Yeah, TJ, I do the same thing. I order stuff because I like it, and then I don't know, it just sits. It just sits. And I don't want things to just sit anymore. I want them to be used up. Because in fact, I was talking to my granddaughter, is it my oldest or my next? No, my oldest granddaughter. And because I kind of cleared out some of my Christmas decorations, I donated some of the nativity scenes I have. I went through everything, and she was like, "Grandma, why are you getting rid of stuff?" I said, "I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. I just want to declutter because I don't want you guys having to go through all my stuff when the time does come, hopefully in another 40 years. But I want to save you guys from that." And I said, "So just know I don't expect you to keep any of my stuff. Keeping my stuff isn't how you remember me. You remember me by the memories we've made together." She says, "Oh, no, Grandma, I'm keeping everything in your craft room. It's mine." I just kind of laughed at her. I said, "Okay, if you want it, you can have it, but don't keep it for the sake of, oh, that reminds me of Grandma," because no. Because my mother-in-law, oh, my sweet mother-in-law, poor thing, she has yet to get rid of most of my father-in-law's things, and he passed away. It'll be 3 years in mm, May. Yeah, 4 years. 3 years in May. And then she hasn't gotten rid of any of my brother-in-law's things. And I keep telling her, you can't keep everything. You don't need to keep all his clothes. You don't need to keep a lot of his things. And I know she's having a rough time letting go, but I'm trying to help her like clean up her house because here's the thing, when she passes, it's going to be up to me to go through all that stuff because my older brother-in-law uh, can't do anything. I mean, after open heart surgery, he can't even walk anymore. He's wheelchair bound completely. Before he could at least get up and walk himself to the bathroom, not anymore. And so trying to tell her there's a lot of the stuff you got to get rid of. She's kind of a hoarder too. It's a problem. So we'll see. Um, she said she's ready to start clearing up some of the things in her room. So we'll see if she really is. Um, you're right about tons of new releases. So many releases. Yes, yes. She's keeping. She says I'm keeping it, Grandma. Oh, that's a good idea. Stuff on the bottom, go to the top, and that's what you have to use first. It is like having new stuff. Great idea, Pam. Great idea. These I thought, I'm gonna start making some Valentine's goodies and cards and let me see what I have because I didn't really think I had any Valentine's paper, but four paper pads, at least four 6x6s of just the Michael stuff. Probably have some stuff from Not Too Shabby, from Cat Scrappiness, because I was on their design teams for a while, and so I'm sure I have some of their stuff. All right. And then what I can do is go in and with the scraps of this gold glitter, cut out some hearts and maybe add some gold hearts here to go with the sentiment, right? I just think it's something I need to do. It's to um, go through all my things and make sure what I have is what I love and what I can give to other people because there's no reason for me to save everything. There's absolutely no reason for me to just have it sitting there. Okay, now what I thought I would do, excuse me, was just go ahead and put all these on the matte layers, but then I need to do all my die cutting first. Huh. I don't know if I want to die cut out of these after all, because I don't want to cut too many. Because I already started with the words, like out of the glitter, and I had some black, not shimmer, the shiny black cardstock that I cut this layer out of for some of the cards. So, hmm, yeah, I guess I should die cut. Die cut a few at least, right? I'll do that. What are you guys up to? What have you been doing in the new year? How has your new year been going? I know we hit the new year, we hit the ground running, and then at least for me, I kind of fizzle out after a minute. And I think we need to stop trying to like I don't do New Year's resolutions, but I think we all try and like hurry up and organize and perfect everything and make sure that we've got everything running the way it should in our household. Yeah, nothing's ever going to run completely the way it should. Yeah, TJ, I'm going to use my 12 by 12s as well. But so I started with these 6 by 6. Um, what kind of inspired me was that Smash Your Stash collaboration that Letty from Party Planner Papery does with Beth and a lot of other people. And so I kind of started along that and I thought, oh, I'll just follow along with them. But then I just thought, no, I'm just going to do my thing, but follow along in a way, not necessarily post a video of me smashing things, but kind of go through. So this month their prompt was anything goes, I think. And so, you could do anything. So I kind of thought, okay, well, what I'm going to do is work on some papers, some um, mystery card kits, some um, of Sassy LLC's sentiments that I already have, because I think um, next month might be 6x6 paper pads, and then the month after might be 12x12s. So, I just kind of want to follow closely along those prompts and do what I can. Now, there's no way I'm going to go through all my stuff this year. I'm going to tell you right now. There's no stuff I would go through there's no way I would go through all my stuff in 10 years. It's just too much stuff, guys. Too much stuff. Oh, and friends, if you want a prize during my Crafty Advent Live, I have not mailed them out yet. I have them all sorted and labeled on who they're going to. I just have to package everything and get it in the mail. So that might not happen until next week. I have kind of a busy week. I have occupational therapy for my hand. I broke a tooth last week. I was eating granola and one of my back molars just broke. A piece of it broke off. And so I'm getting a crown on that this week. And just lots of stuff, lots of medical stuff to do. Nothing major, but lots of like little annoying medical things I have to deal with. Took a break between mid-December and now. It was nice to relax. Yes. Not that crafting isn't relaxing. It is for me. But like when you're on design teams, you have deadlines to meet. So it was nice not to worry about that going into January, because like I said, I kind of stepped back from a couple of design teams for the time being. Hopefully when I kind of have more energy and have more time, I can get back to more design teams. Reagan, let's see. We're on 2 teams. Just building stash and stock. You're going to have fun. I'm not saying design teams are not fun. They are. They are a blast. Not just, it's not just about the product you get, but the team itself. At least for me, the teams I was on had the most supportive people. The owners of the companies were amazing. The design team members were amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. Like if I had not such a crazy retired life, I might have stayed on those and hoped to be on more. But given the current circumstances with caring for, or not necessarily caring for my mother-in-law, but like we're the ones she calls for any help she needs. And then my mom, she's gonna be 91 next month, so that kind of needs to be the focus for me. Ooh, yeah. I could put my husband to do that. Although I don't know if he's going to. He's really not been feeling well for probably since before Thanksgiving. So we're still trying to figure out what's going on with him. Hopefully they can figure it out at the next doctor's visit. Oh, the tooth breaking? Yeah, it didn't cause any pain. I mean, I was like, oh, at first I thought I had, because I was eating granola with yogurt. And at first I thought, oh, granola is stuck in the back molar, because it felt like something kind of sharp scraping at my tongue. So I kind of went with like those dental floss picks, and nothing was coming out. And I was like, what is that? And then I kind of looked back and it looked like there was a hole there. And I thought, well, that can't be. And my husband happened to have an appointment that day with a dentist. And so I called the dentist and I said, hey, my husband has an appointment today. Is there any chance you can see me too? I think I broke a tooth. And this was a new dentist to us because we just switched dentists. They were very accommodating. They said, of course, come in, we'll take a look. And sure enough, the dentist says, oh, you broke a big chunk out of that tooth. And what it was, and I knew eventually it was going to happen, is I've only had 4 cavities my whole life. And those 4 I got when I was 10 years old, and I got them filled with those old silver fillings, the mercury fillings. That's what the dentist says. It has mercury. I don't know. And I never had them replaced with any other kind of filling because I thought, well, they're still working. No need to replace them. And the dentist told me, well, a dentist we had years ago said, eventually these are going to crack. They're going to break. You're going to have to replace them. And I was like, okay, well, I'll do it when the time comes. And well, I guess the time came. They're going to have to take out that filling, put in a crown, and hopefully that fixes the issue. So, and I am not a good dentist person, although I did find out something interesting. So, for me, when I go to the dentist's office, I don't like going because no matter what they use as anesthesia on me, it doesn't work. Like I've had dentists give me 3, 4, 5 injections and they'll say, are you numb yet? And I'll say, no, I'm not. And they'll give me another one and it'll just go back and forth like that. And so finally I just say I'm numb just for them to stop injecting me. And I feel everything they do. So, thus me not really going to the dentist. So I told this dentist that, and I said, well, you're gonna have to knock me out because there's no other way. And he kind of looked at me funny and he said, no, we just give you a local and you'll be fine. It'll numb the area. And I said, nope, doesn't work on me. I've same issue my whole life, doesn't work on me. Now my hair is all gray right now. So it just looks gray. That's all there is to it. Well, there's black in it. I guess some of the black is still peeking through, but mostly gray. Silver, gray, white, whatever you want to call it. And he asked me, he says, well, are you a redhead? And I said, yeah. And he looked at me and he said, what? And I said, well, not like a full on ginger type redhead where it's like flaming red, but yeah, I have, well, before it went gray, I had some red hair and hazel eyes. My eyes turned green or gray or they're like a light brown. And he said, well, that's why the anesthesia doesn't take on you. And I kind of looked at him and I said, excuse me? He said there's something in genetically with redheads, natural redheads, of course, that doesn't allow, not every redhead, but it's in a good majority, our body to process the anesthesia the same way. So, and they have to, I don't know if they use something different or put it in differently or let it sit longer, but it takes a different approach. And I was like, what? How come nobody ever told me this? He says, I don't know. He goes, I will get you numb. I promise you will be numb before I work on that tooth. And I was like, huh. Well, my husband was a redhead before he shaved all his, well, before he went gray and shaved all his hair off because he's now bald. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, is a redhead. And when I told him my husband was a redhead, he looked at me funny again. And I said, look at his face. His face is full of freckles. Even his lips have freckles on them. He's a redhead. He was born a redhead. He had red hair as a child. It just sometimes, like with my dad was a redhead. The red goes gray real early. Kind of goes black sometimes and then gray. And that's what happened with my dad. His went gray. Like by the time he was 30, he had a full-on head of gray hair. And I've had gray hair since at least I was 18. So my husband came into the room because they were done with him. And he looked at him and he says, huh, okay. I said, well, this is good to know because I need to tell my daughter because she would have the same issues at the dentist. Excuse me. I wish somebody, and you can clearly see my daughter's a redhead because she still has red hair. Why has a dentist never mentioned anything? Why has any doctor never mentioned anything about that? I don't know. But um, if any of you out there are redheads and you have trouble with your local anesthetic, and it's the locals, I think, the local anesthesias that give you issues, not the general, I don't think, if I remember correctly. Because I kind of Googled it because I didn't really believe him. I mean, I believed him, but I kind of didn't believe him. I was in shock. So it it appears that it's the local anesthesias, not the. Oh, hi, Lynn. Hi, my friend. How are you? Um, I just saw your video on the different glue press thingies. Um, you know what that one reminded me? The one from Memory Keepers. It looks like a caulking gun, a miniature caulking gun. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, that's probably how they designed it after that. Oh, thank you. I always forget, friends, if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing, that would really help me out a bunch. I'd appreciate it more than you know. Your dad was Italian, Portuguese, black hair. He had the same problem. Yeah, I don't. There's something. He told me what it was, the MR1 gene or something. I think that's what it was that causes that. So at least this dentist knew that, and now he's going to know. He says, okay, now that I know what I have to do and to get you numbed up properly. So we'll see. My appointment is on Wednesday. Wednesday? Yeah. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Because if he can get me numb, no problem. I will have no problem with a dentist anymore. And I will go. Bye, Lynn. Thanks for stopping by. Um, and did you guys watch? If you didn't, you should go back and watch. Alicia had her her live today, sharing how to enter all your secret words from her Crafty Advent series to get a chance to win her prize. So I'm going to go and do that today because I do have my word tracker and all my words that I collected on there, all my secret words, so that I can enter to win something. How are we doing on time? Oh, okay, we've got a few minutes before I have to head out. Oh, that is horrible. When anesthetics don't take, oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. But I guess you learn to deal with certain things in your life. That was one of them for me. But my husband didn't have that problem. So here, that's the funny thing. He didn't have that issue with anesthetics. Well, not that he knows of anyway. Because I asked him. Actually, you know what? He does. He doesn't. He just puts up with the pain because they had to numb him at our appointment last week because he had an infected tooth, and they had to numb him to pull that tooth. And he said he felt it. And I was like, why didn't you tell him to give you more? He's like, they just had to pull it out. It was already basically out. I'm like, oh, okay. But now that I think of it, he said that to me, and well, yeah, didn't work on you. I think he was just in so much pain because the tooth has been causing him pain since before Christmas. So I think he just was happy to get it out. Let me go back and check out this. Good for you. I think a lot of times, I don't want to generalize, but in my experience with dentists, they don't really listen. With most doctors in general, quite frankly. I've been lucky that I've had my OBGYN was amazing. He listened to me. He was wonderful. My new urologist, not so much. My general practice doctor, my physician, she's really good. She listens really well. But my dentist, not so much. They don't listen. So I appreciate that you do that, that you get that good relationship with your patients, especially kids, because it can be quite a traumatizing event for them. And then they end up like me, an adult that doesn't want to go see the dentist. Let me see what else. Lidocaine doesn't work for you. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Wait a minute. You had to quit your job, but you went back to work part-time? 4 days a week, that's not part-time, my friend. That's full-time basically. Basically. Uh, but yeah, I just like you get older. I tell my husband, I have never seen more doctors in my life before age 50 as I did after age 50. Dear Lord. And then they're just all doogie howsers. And their solution to whatever it is, well, at your age, and I just want to punch them in the throat. Tell them, get me somebody that's older than me, please. Because that shouldn't be the answer at my age. No. Figure out what's going on. Like you have to be your own advocate. You just have to. Like when my mom had cancer, doctors were not listening to her. And luckily, my older sister was still alive then, and she worked in the hospital system. She was an admitting clerk for the emergency room. So she went in there and just ripped them a new one until they did scans. And sure enough, they found out that my mom had cancer. Thank God for my sister because they were able to deal with that in time. She had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So, okay, I think I'm just going to put this one here and then I'll put one more card together and then let you guys go because I do have to go pick up a grandchild. One of my never-ending duties. That, dishes, and laundry. Okay, those are matted. These are not. I'll move those out of the way. And here I think I'll put, what if I put the white glitter? I think I'll put white glitter as my matte layer here. And I know I haven't really had too many videos come out this month. I'll try and get some up next week. I'll definitely be getting one up for Oh So Inspired. And then I'll try and get some more going. I'm just finding that I'm liking doing lives better than recording videos. I might do this one. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. But because this is glitter, I'm going to use the liquid glue too. That holds on better, I think. Takes a little while to grab and dry, but I'm just going to let it sit here anyway. So here we go. See, this is a pretty easy, what's it called? Sketch to follow. Words. So it's not terrible. It's not a lot of cutting, and you can get it done pretty quickly. Okay, so I think I can do this one. I like the red. The red behind there. And then once I smash these paper pads, I can kind of dig through and see any other Valentine's ones I have. Although I kind of want to just stop with Valentine's maybe after these so I can get these delivered to the nursing home and a skilled nursing facility and then start working on some other cards. I don't know. We'll see. We'll kind of see what I land on. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I gotta get myself going. I mean, I'm dressed and ready to go. I just got to get my phone, my purse, my glasses, because I always forget my glasses if I don't sit them right next to me. Oh, yeah. And then I'll cut out some hearts. Oop. Here I'm going to cut out some hearts out of some pink glitter to add there. And then I will be sure to cut, do one here, a matte layer for the inside. Like it's a black card base. I need white on the inside to write on. I mean, I could write with a white gel pen, but if I'm giving these to that nursing facility, I just want them to be able to see it easier. All right, see? Okay, so these are the two I did with you guys today. What do you think? They're not bad, right? Let me get my stuff out of the way. So it's not just taking up all the space. Let me zoom in a little bit. Ready, set, go. Whoa, that was fast. Too fast. Too fast. I'm seeing it backwards, guys, so I'm having a hard time getting it straight. There we go. Oh, goodness. All right, guys. I'll be back next Monday. I think I'm going to stick with the 9 o'clock time. Not 100% on that. Because every time I think, okay, this is a great time for me, then something comes up and I need to take my mother-in-law to the doctor or my mom or myself or one of my grandkids. So I will shoot for 9 o'clock in the mornings. And that way you kind of know when I'll be here. And I'll try scheduling out the rest of my lives for this month. Okay. All right, friends, I will let you go. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and have a great week, friends. Bye.